Hey guys, on today's episode, we're going to talk about the power of having a sales process. And throughout the whole of your sales process, the mini processes that make up the major sales process, and about how that process gives you the ability as a salesperson to essentially choose your own check, write your own check. Ain't that one of the benefits of being in sales? So if you stick with us to the end, you may learn about how to free creativity within a structure, within a sales process. Enjoy the episode. Hello, and welcome to It Shouldn't Happen to Us. You know, every day we're out there, we're selling and we're training thousands of people how to sell and how to be better at sales. And sometimes we forget the basics, we screw it up. And this is where we tell you all about it because it shouldn't happen to us. So, hi, Sophia.
Carlos. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just dandy. Been training all morning. Did some coaching sessions with a couple sales managers. Shout out to all the sales managers out there. It is not the most wonderful job. It is rewarding when it's rewarding, but boy, is it grueling when it's grueling.
Hardest job in business, right? Mm-hmm. The hardest job in business is sales management. You get none of the credit, you get all of the responsibility, and you're trying to help people that don't want your help, and you're trying to you're trying to help people be the best they can be, and they don't want. It's like being a parent of a teenager, right?
Carlos, I died with Antonio's email this morning that says the good we do is written in the sand and the bad in marble.
That's right. It's true though, right? Especially as a sales manager, all the good we do written in sand, and the bad that we do is written in marble, carved in stone for thousands of years for people to remember. 100%. So, have you done any selling, or has it all been training today?
Well, actually, I did make a couple prospecting calls, left a nice, nifty voicemail. Look at that. I did. Inbound leads. Listen to our last episode, listeners, if you want to hear all about our inbound lead thoughts and streams of consciousness and experiences. But what about you, Carlos? What do you got going on today?
Well, I've done some training this morning, and I had to do some follow-up. I tell you what, Sophia, I'm an idiot. I had a referral last week, and I mean, I had a number of referrals last week, but one of them is a guy up in Canada, and it was a real nice referral. I had a great intro call, because that's our process, right? Our process is you get this lead, however it comes, inbound or outbound, or however you've generated the lead, but now you got to do something with it. And if you run that straight into a discovery meeting, then we all know what that looks like. It's a train wreck. So we do some, we have to do something to convert curiosity into engagement. So what I did with this guy, Dwayne, if you're watching the podcast, it's about you, buddy. I did an intro call with Dwayne. It was, you don't meet many Dwaynes, right? How many Dwaynes
in Miami, certainly not. Imagine
Miami,
that.
Not Dwayne, a lot of Dwaynes.
Dwayne is a hard name for.
It's very hard for Cuban. Yeah.
Dwayne. Yeah.
Not many Dwaynes. So, so I had my intro call. Great little intro call. Getting ready for. It was Actually, it turned from an intro call into kind of little minor discovery. It was pretty cool. We had a real long chat. I was in my car. I was driving back from a training last week, and it turned into a longer call. But and it would be great if I could blame it on that. I was in my car, a little bit confused.
The snow globe.
Diligently, the snow globe was buzzing. General chaos all around me. But you know what I did? Because actually I made 2 or 3 calls on that trip. It was about 90 minutes I was in the car. And I love those drive time, get on top. In fact, today I had 90 minutes in my car today. I made loads of calls today. I was a rock star today. But I can't even blame it on that, because I got back home after that long car trip, and the first thing I did was I sat at my computer and I logged everything on HubSpot.
Good for you. See, that's
Good
the thing.
for me.
Good
how
for
often
you.
do I do
Well
that?
done,
Not
you.
often.
Effing never.
Never do I have
Never,
that kind
Carlos.
of discipline.
I'm surprised and I'm happy you did it. And even better would have been actually making the call through the HubSpot app, which is amazing.
Know, but
I
should have done
it's
that.
fine.
But
that's
you know
the next
what?
level.
You know what? So here's the process as it's supposed to run, right? I get this referral, and before I just go running at it like a bull on heat, I actually should have logged that contact in HubSpot such that I could use the app and do it through HubSpot. But that's how it should look. Whereas I was just driving along and I thought, it was that guy. I was supposed to ring somebody from Canada, right? And so I got on my email as I'm driving, which I shouldn't do. Don't do that, guys. I was on driving along and I was trying to find that email. Found the email. It had his number in there, and I just thought, sod it, let's give it a go. The guy answered. I mean, who knew the guy was going to answer? He actually answered, and then we had a cool chat. But to my credit, I then walked straight in the house, made that guy a contact. Put my notes from just 2 or 3 notes, 2 or 3 lines. I wouldn't want you to think I wrote.
You have a great memory, though. See, I'm always afraid of doing drive time stuff because I'm like, I won't remember the details, which is why HubSpot allows me to be lazy because I can just make the call through, and anything I forgot, it's recorded. Already in the HubSpot, so it's amazing.
This episode is not sponsored by HubSpot. HubSpot, if you're watching,
if you want to,
I'll take the check. Right, we'll take that check.
I will take that. Yeah.
But anyway, I did the right thing. I got it.
Yes, you did.
I put the info in. I set the next step up, all that. But then it requires me actually over the next 3 or 4 days actually opening HubSpot again, right? That's what I didn't do because I got busy. It's such a weak, lame-ass excuse. But I got busy.
Yep.
Training and calls and planning and meetings and all that. The snow globe got busy again. And then 4 days go by, and this guy was supposed to respond in some way. I was supposed to send him something. I did send him the thing I was supposed to send him. Dwayne, I sent it you. And then we get an email through, hey, where was the info you were supposed to send? And I'm like, oh, shit. My first thought was, oh, my God, I didn't send it. I looked because I couldn't remember if I sent it or not. But then I looked back, I did send it. So I'm like, and how did I know I sent it? It was in HubSpot. I sent it direct through HubSpot. Que rico. I knew it. I thought, did I ever send that? And I was in HubSpot and I looked, and yes, I did send it. So I sent him the info. He was supposed to respond. He didn't. He hadn't opened it. So, and that's fair, They get trapped in the spam filter or it slipped through the cracks. I think I sent it him on a Saturday. Oh, is Ileana there? Is she looking after you?
Yes, she is.
So I had the record of it in HubSpot. So I just sent it. I just forwarded it again. Hey, Dwayne, I think you sent an email saying that you hadn't received it. Let me, if I haven't heard from you that you've received this one, I'm going to have to get on the phone and call you again. And he responded, got it this time. So now he's got the info and who knows. But it's great to have a process. But you've then got to follow your process, right? Because that snow globe gets busy, and sometimes I am just so chaotic. I'm walking around, I've got 15 guys I need to call, guys and gals that I need to call, and I dropped the ball, and that was one I absolutely I didn't drop it because I did everything I was supposed to do, and I did put it in HubSpot. And even so, yesterday I remember thinking, there's somebody I haven't followed up with. There's somebody I haven't followed up with.
That feeling comes in the middle of a yoga class. It comes when you're in the shower. It comes when you're in the middle of cooking dinner, and you'll rack your brain.
What the hell was that?
Who was it?
What have I not done? And I knew there was somebody I hadn't followed up with. I knew it. Now, why did I not just go straight to HubSpot and have a look through all my deals in my pipeline? You know why? Because I've got no confidence in myself that I had put it in HubSpot. And I had put it in HubSpot. But I would never have put money on the fact that I'd put it in HubSpot. But I did. So well done me, but foolish me.
Good job.
Confidence in myself. Yeah.
we got to have processes. And you know what? Hey, what you just described reminds me of that book, The One Thing. Like,
oh, Keller.
Right?
Is it Keller? I think it's Keller.
I think so. It's and
Antonio's
great
favorite book.
Great book.
I don't think it's his favorite book. It's his favorite business book. I imagine there's plenty of books he likes more than that, but it's his favorite business book. I couldn't get into it.
Well, spark notes of it. Key takeaway is, let's say if you want to become someone who goes to the gym at 5 a.m. every morning, well, first thing you got to do is start waking up at 4 a.m. If you're not someone who wakes up at 4 a.m., well, then maybe start with that goal first. Then we start talking about the gym. Maybe at night, prepare the gym bag, put it next to the door, start with the gym bag first. And it's like, focus on the one thing. Look at that. You logged something in HubSpot. So that's, hey, you decide, is it day one or one day? And I tell you what,
even, power move from Soph. Is it day one or one day? No, do you know what? Let me tell you. I tell you what's cool about this is I scratched my head when I got the second email from Dwayne, and I thought to myself, did I send that? And because I'd put it in HubSpot, I had the answer. Otherwise, I'd have been doubting myself. I'd have had to have gone in my sent emails. Is it in there in sent emails? What's the guy's name? Didn't need to do any of that. It was all in HubSpot. So I'm glad that I had that experience, and I'm also glad that I could sort of see the value of it. So it's healthy. It's healthy for me, dropping that ball is healthy.
Dropping that ball is healthy. Carlos, in sales, you're really your own boss, and it's not a matter of if, but when you're going to drop a ball. And I think people don't view the process as something that, and the CRM as something that will help them to not drop those balls. Remember a couple episodes ago, we had an episode about networking and how I said, because I know I'll forget, I set an appointment with myself to follow up with all the business cards and people that I met at the networker. The next level for you in HubSpot, aside from logging things and making the call from the actual HubSpot, is setting a task so that the email ding reminds you whether or not Dwayne, our beloved Dwayne, has responded, right? Just so that when you get to your desk, you have your list of tasks and you just chip away at them versus trying to guess and figure out, and did I send it, and who should I touch today? And
what's that thing you're always telling me that you learned when you were doing improv about process freeing creativity or something?
Structure frees creativity.
There's $1 million for you right there. Structure frees creativity. Tell us the philosophy behind it.
Well, I do improv. It's one of the various man-repelling activities I engage in, along with a pickling class with my mother. And so in improv, people I
have to say that we were out for lunch on Sunday, and Carolina was saying, because she got pickled something, and she was saying how much she enjoyed pickling. And how much she enjoyed these pickled onions. And I said, strangely enough, Sophia was telling me about how she enjoys pickling. And Carolina looked at me like, am I really in the middle of a conversation about pickling? Are we that adult?
So satisfying.
It's
so satisfying. It's so easy. And
it's a rock and roll life you lead, Sophia.
I know. Life. It's hard to be this desirable. So anyways, so improv, people think improv, you just show up on stage and you make a scene out of nothing, but there's formats and there's structure and there's rules to improv. It's not just, let me get a letter from the audience, you sir in the white shirt, T. All right, what's a word that starts with T? Totem pole. It's not just a scene about totem pole, because who wants to watch a 45-minute set about totem poles? There's typically a game, so we decide what kind of game we're going to play, and being able to have that structure, those pillars, allows us to be idiots and have fun on stage. So same thing with process. Structure frees creativity.
Have you ever seen the film Ted?
Yeah.
When they go to the improv. Just to mess with them in improv. That is so cool.
Carlos, honestly, the media, any movie I see or any show that has like an improv scene in it makes improv look so Dorkenheimer that it's so sad, because it's really
Could it be that it
like
is
it's just
Dorkenheimer? It's Dorkenheimer. Could be that. Don't know.
I'm not ready to accept that truth.
So, okay.
Anyway.
But no, that having that system, that structure is it does allow you to, it takes the shackles off, right? Now you've got that safe space within the system to be creative, to be you, to be passionate, to have fun with it. I was training our insurance guys, those cool guys that I've got, those insurance guys. I was training them
like
an hour and a half ago. And I was trying to explain, and these are the coolest young guys you'll meet in your life. They're all Columbus boys, and they're all ready to rock. And I'm giving them these systems. All right, we were specifically talking about prospecting today, but I was giving them these systems, and the first reaction was, "Oh, then that means it's constricting me. It's a straitjacket." And I was trying to explain to them that it isn't about being a straitjacket. It isn't about being, hey, I know where I am, and so here's the script. Here are the 4 or 5 words you've got to use. It isn't about that. It's knowing what that next step is and having so much control that you can then be creative, right? You've got that frees your creativity to have that process in place and rely on the process and always know what the next step is. Always know what that next step, what that home run is and what a double is. Get ready for a double 2. Really powerful in sales.
And let's think about process versus results. If there's some guys on those teams and on that team that get a great result doing what they're doing, no lyrics, no rap, their own lyrics, their own rap, and they get consistent results every time, then just don't change it. Now, if it's only working 2 out of 10 times because the prospect that you're talking to happens to dig your lyrics and rap, then that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
And don't take the 2 out of 10 like that. That might not, and depending on your world, that might be a pretty good ratio. But I'm just saying, you gotta, right? Does that make sense? Like, you gotta wonder,
Now, Tiger Woods is a pretty good golfer. Jack Nicklaus was a good golfer. Mm-hmm. If you took the view that, hey, you know what, I'm really good at this, so I'm going to change nothing, then you'll only ever be good and not great. I personally believe that most people why have you found yourself in sales? Because in some ways it's kind of the career graveyard sales. It's like, I couldn't do anything else, so I ended up being in sales. For those guys, it can't help you, Now, I believe there's a great reason to be in sales. The best reason in the world to be in, there's a bunch of great reasons. One of them is you're helping people make great decisions all the time. You really are bringing a ton of commercial value and personal value. As you said at the beginning of this episode, it's like your own business. Most sales jobs, it's kind of like having your own business, a book of business within a business. Most sales jobs, in my experience, you choose your paycheck. I mean, how incredible is that? You choose how much you're going to earn this year. You've got that. If you get good, you've got that level of control. So if you're in it for those reasons, because it's like a bloody marvelous place where psychology meets economics, meets business. If you're in it for those reasons and you get to choose your paycheck, and if you're saying to yourself, hey, I'm good, so I'm not going to change anything, I think that's a missed opportunity. Okay. Now, here's the other interesting thing we always see. When you change something, it gets worse before it gets better. You change your golf grip, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's the price you pay for the payoff. It's going to get a little worse before it gets better. Now, we either meet people where, like you said, they're getting 2 out of 10 and they're starving to death anyway, in which case, I don't mind it getting worse before it gets better. It can't get much worse than this. The real leap of faith are the guys that we meet who are rock stars. They're making $200,000, $300,000 a year, and they're prepared to change something. They're prepared to change something, adopt a better process, adopt a new process, adopt a new mindset, some new behaviors, whatever it is they need to change, because they know they're making 300,000 today without help. They can make 600,000 tomorrow with help. And that's why those guys are the magic guys. But you've got to be ready to, it's got to get ready for it to get worse before it gets better, right?
So many things to speak on there, right? Like, first of all, yeah, I think sales is the best job in the world. It really is the only job in the world that you can give yourself a raise whenever you want. You can earn just as much as a surgeon earns and have a hell of a lot more time off. More.
I have clients who are surgeons. I have clients who are surgeons who are making, well into seven figures. Hell, I've got one client who's in 8 figures as a surgeon. But I've got clients, you and I both have got clients who are salespeople earning similar money. Not many of them, granted, but we've got clients.
They're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Thank goodness for a process. Because, Carlos, hey, guess what? When I became your client back in the day, when I was a client, I could not figure out why on earth I was just striking out, getting people into the pipeline, and they just would not turn into anything. And I could not identify why. And I trudged like that for about 2 years, just to bloated. I forgot the visuals that we have in our leadership program of like the bloated pipeline up top versus in the middle, right? I had so many things in the top of the funnel and they were not, coming out through the bottom. And the process made me realize that, yeah, I'm great at bonding a rapport, but I'm presenting too much. I'm going into solution. And I would be sincerely offended. I think in the discovery call that Charlotte did with me, I think I remember exactly where we were sitting. We met at UM. We trespassed the University of Miami and had a sales meeting there. I don't know. I think it's public. I think anyone can have a meeting in UM, but I remember exactly where I was sitting. And I remember telling her, Charlotte, I don't get it. I sit with these prospects and I present to them something that, by the way, I've slaved over for. I've really poured my heart into this presentation. I've pulled in partner departments, research departments, and I'm giving them this incredible recommendation and solution. And they just don't want it. And I can't, and they have the money and I can't understand why. And I could not understand why. And it's through learning the process and learning a methodology and a system that I realized exactly what I was doing wrong, which allowed me to course correct. But how can you course correct if you don't have a process? You can't repeat positive results either.
You can't identify what went wrong. You can't identify the positive. That you can't repeat the positives because you don't know what went right. And isn't it the case that usually success has got Success has got many. Is it parents or mothers or I forget fathers? I forget what the expression is. But failure's an orphan. Usually there's one thing that goes wrong and you can identify that one thing if you've got a process. If you've not got a process, you've got no chance. And you know what? I think that's what makes you such a superb trainer. Same for me. I think that's my superpower is, in terms of training, is that I wasn't a natural. How can you learn from a natural? You actually can't learn from a natural because they don't know what they did. I have a client that says never take diet advice from a skinny guy. They don't know what it's like. They haven't traveled the journey. We've traveled that journey, right? I still do, by the way. I drop way more balls than I catch. I think it's to our credit that we're not naturals because you can't reproduce that natural talent. Diego Maradona couldn't teach anyone how to play soccer. Can't. The guy was just too much talent all in one place. He didn't understand people that didn't get it. Whereas we do. We know what it's like to operate without, to try and sell. Try and sell without a process means one of a few things. Either one, it's chaos. I still have a lot of chaos, but chaos. Number two thing that happens is how heavy the lean is on your own personality, your own identity. if every deal you close is a simple force of personality, well, you can close some business that way, but that'll burn you out. When you're leaning that hard on your own wits and your own personality, your own gravitas, when you're leaning that hard, it'll burn you out.
Oh my God. You're reminding me of a story that I want to say, my last world, what do they say? My old world? How do people say that?
Yeah,
my old world. Yeah, I was really on this quest to figure out what I was doing wrong. And there was this one guy in the office, Andrew Gonzalez. If you're listening, I don't know if you're listening, but Andrew Gonzalez was like the heavy hitter in the office. And he was about a couple years older than me. And he's really tall and handsome and like just killing it.
Oh, were you crushing a little bit on him? Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Little crush, right?
And he was so good. He was killing it. And I remember going to his cubicle. And I was there. I mean, he and I were the last ones to live.
Join me in my cubicle. Go ahead.
HR. And it was such a conservative. Yes. Comcast was so conservative. Like, no. So we would always be the last two to leave the office. And I went over to his cubicle and I was like, Andrew, like, I don't really know what's going on. Like, I don't know what I'm missing, and like why are these people not becoming clients, and like I don't get it. I feel like I'm and for sure, Carlos, for sure I was doing quadruple the prospecting behaviors that anyone was doing in that office. Like, I was door knocking in the rain. People thought I was nuts. I went into the freaking Church of Scientology, but that's for another podcast episode. And he said to me, and I remember it was so freaking soul crushing. He says to me, you know what, Soph, here's the thing. Like, you're the kind of rep that a prospect will think, yeah, I'd get a beer with her. She's a fun time, but I don't know that I would trust her with thousands of my advertising dollars.
That must have been crushing to hear.
And I was just like, all right, screw this guy. We're still friends. But I was like, all right, screw this guy. And I just like never asked him for advice ever again. Fast forward me being, a client of Absolute. I was like, oh, wait, it wasn't about my character, right? But it was that I was a great schmooze. I was great at mirroring and matching, but I was not getting to that next step.
But to your credit, you were doing the behaviors. Because if you weren't doing the behaviors, let me tell you, it would have been so easy. And I see it every day. Sales guys who don't do the behaviors, and then they can point at that and say, that's why I'm not making it. I'm not making it because I'm not putting the work in. So that gets me off the hook. It ain't about me. It's I'm not doing the behaviors. I'll do the behaviors next week. I've always got that out. Next week will be different. Next week, it's all going to come. This time next year, it's all going to come around. It's because I'm not going to ask. I'm never going to do the behaviors, by the way, because I don't actually want the answer to the question, is it me? So to your credit, you were doing the at-bats, which then gave you the data to say, wait a minute, I'm doing something wrong.
True,
and then to your credit, you went out and found us. You went out like, wait a minute, I need somebody now who knows what they're doing.
I need something. I need something.
Yeah. I need somebody or something.
Yeah. Like Martin Luther King said, there's going to be some dark days ahead, so you better have something. Whatever that is.
Whatever it is.
Process or Allah.
So let's leave our listeners and viewers with a key message. What's the key message from today, Sophia? Is it it's got to be better than just have a system. Is it maybe once you've got your system, well, then you got to know where you are at any point in that system. If you're prospecting, what are the 3 or 4 different prospecting systems you've got? Where are you in that system? And what's the next step?
Yeah, awareness of where you are.
And what technology are you going to lean on? You've got to lean on some technology too. Otherwise, you're in the snow globe. Well, I know I am. So what's the technology you're leaning on that's going to then make sure that you do the next step? If you're in your sales, if you're in your sales process, know what that process is. It takes all the pressure off you, knowing what the process is. Then you can bring guts and humor and creativity, and you're not reliant on those to close a deal, but they will supercharge the deal. They'll keep the deal moving. And know where you are in that process. Know is this a discovery meeting? Is this a follow-up meeting? What's my follow-up process? Where are my templates? What are my follow-up templates? What's my, what? I've got everything then templated. I know where I am. Everything's in HubSpot. I can just pull my templates out. And that takes years to fully develop.
It's like tools, like any other industry. A surgeon has his tools. A plumber has his tools. They don't try to do everything with their bare hands, right? What are the tools that you have, technology that you have that helps you?
We are the architects of great conversations. That's what sales is. The architects of great conversations. And guess what? If we do that really well, we choose our own paycheck. Like you said earlier, what other career in the world can you just give yourself a pay rise whenever you want them, whenever you're prepared to pay the price, Sophia, wonderful to chat to you. You have a great week selling. It's goodbye from Sophia.
And goodbye from Carlos. This was fun.
Take care, folks. Good selling.
Bye, guys.